Dragon's Dogma 2 is looking to be one of the most exciting games for us to play in 2024, and during a recent livestream showcase, we learnt a whole ton about the game, from the world itself to some new enemies and even a surprising new class vocation. So here are 9 things that we learnt after going through all of this information for you guys. Number 1, the release date. The stream started off really strong as we now know the official release date for Dragon's Dogma 2. The release for it will be on March 22nd of 2024, which is great and we cannot wait to get our hands on it, but just a heads up for the serious cultured gamers out there, Granblue Fantasy Relink, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and now Dragon's Dogma 2 are all just a few weeks apart. So we just wanted to get you guys mentally prepared for your best and most grindy couple of weeks and a fantastic time for gaming. For number 2, we have the story. One of the first things that we learned about the story this time is that Dragon's Dogma 2 will be taking place in the same world setting, but in a parallel mirror universe to the first game. We know that the game will feature 2 nations, with each nation differing greatly, and will treat you as the Arisen in completely different ways. Vermund is the human kingdom where you will be drawn into the power struggle for the throne, as the Queen Regent Disa is plotting to put her son on the throne by using a false Arisen. On the other hand, the Beastren nation of Batal, which is led by Nadinia, treats pawns as the source of misfortune and worship the lambent flame to ward off calamity. Both these nations see the dragon as a threat, and it will be interesting to see how this story will unfold with us caught in the middle. We know from previous interviews that selecting a Beastren will cause NPCs in the world to react to you differently. So let us know, are you planning to pick a human character or a Beastren character? And for number 3, we have side quests and relationships. Something that a lot of you have been asking to return are relationships, and we got a glimpse at this through the side quest system. In addition to the main quest, there will be several side quests that players can undertake to deepen their relationship with various inhabitants of the world. In the side quest we got to see, the player did a very cool quest in the Sacred Arbor, which is an elf settlement. The elves within the game also communicate in their own language, which can be a barrier for you, but one awesome new thing is that pawns can translate this if they have that particular language as a specialization. Personally, I absolutely love the sound of this, but I'm super intrigued to know what other specializations you can have. For number 4, we have the pawns. Alongside learning about the new specializations, we know that the system will remain the same from the first game, where players can create an Arisen playable character for themselves, but also one pawn that will be recruitable for other players too. The press release says that players can choose the personality of their main pawn, which will determine their behavior and conversation choices throughout the game. So essentially, you make a player character and a single pawn that will join you in your party, and that single pawn can then be hired by other players online to integrate into their party, as you can have up to 4 in your group. So you must create and pick your pawn wisely. And for number 5, we have the character creation. We got a closer look at the actual character creator for Dragon's Dogma 2, and the developers have worked really hard to make sure that we can create the look that we want to, as there'll be a ton of sliders so we can finely tune our Arisen and pawns looks to our liking. In addition to this, they're using photogrammetry technology, which is awesome to hear, and it's a relatively new tech that allows the game developers to scan in higher detailed textures from real life objects to create more realistic looking models. They've also added in a simplified way to create a character by selecting different versions that iterate from each other until you find the perfect one. So get ready to spend a ton of time creating your perfect character, and if it's anything like the first game, they can get pretty wacky too. And then for number 6, we have the Trickster. One of the more exciting things to see ahead of the release of Dragon's Dogma 2 is all of the new class vocations that we will be getting and able to play. The stream didn't disappoint, as we got a brand new look at a new vocation called the Trickster, which is all about buffing your pawns and conjuring illusions. As the official description says, it's a vocation exclusive to our Arisen, and it will conjure illusions through smoke created by its unique weapon, the Censer. The Trickster can use illusions to deceive enemies into fighting against their own, and they will also have the ability to temporarily increase the power of pawns beyond their limits. We are seeing a few people say that they don't think this class will be very powerful because it isn't about dealing direct damage, but we actually have a feeling that this class could end up being extremely powerful, because most games where you can buff summons or AI companions can end up getting straight up busted, because they can then deal a ton of damage while you are not being targeted, which also massively increases your survivability. So it's possible that because the game is single player and this vocation is exclusive to your player character and it's a support vocation, then it could be overtuned and very strong. But what do you guys think? Do you think it looks any good, and will you be playing this new vocation? And for number 7, we have a surprising new addition to the game. It's the towering new giant monster called Talos. The developers are being mysterious about this monster's purpose, but we do know that we'll be able to take it down in a variety of different ways, such as jumping on it and taking it down up close by climbing around to the weak points, or by using ranged options. The whole thing gives us big Monster Hunter Siege vibes, and the armor that the character is wearing in the footage looks incredible too. We definitely need to find this armor in the game, and I hope that there are some really cool looking armor sets that are also difficult to get. And next up, if you are excited and you're just straight up like Capcom take my money, then you'll be glad to know there are various pre-order goodies that you can get if you pre-order the game. For pre-ordering, you will get bonus weapons for each of these starting vocations that give you a little bit of a boost early game. There's also a deluxe edition that comes with a ton of extras for you to enjoy, including a special campsite, extra items, some rift crystals, and more. And next, when the stream finished, it went off with a bang as they showed off some of the best gameplay we got so far, as we can see the warrior and sorcerer vocations in action against one of Dragon Dogma 2's monsters, the Drake and the Dullahan. Alongside this gameplay, we also got official descriptions of these advanced vocations. The warrior boasts a robust physique specializing in direct combat. With strength to endure enemy counterattacks, the warriors are masters of two-handed weapons such as the greatsword and the hammer. They say the strike that is unleashed after a charging power and identifying an opening is among the most powerful attacks of all the vocations. So if you're like me, then you are so ready to do some big meaty chops with the warrior. Also, the fire from the Drake looked absolutely incredible. But the awesomeness didn't stop just there, as we also got Sorcerer footage, and it was just as impressive with some massive spells being cast. But here's what the developers had to say about this vocation. The Sorcerer is a vocation completely specialized in various magic attacks. Their magic is conjured with both hands through a large staff, and they can change the tide of battle at any given opportunity. As their magic spells take longer to cast, it is key for sorcerers to find a safe place to determine the correct moment to strike. The Dullahan looks really unique as well, and we're excited to get into the world of Dragon's Dogma again to take this down. So, some cool things are definitely on the horizon, but make sure to let us know what you think about the game, as we're thinking it's looking pretty great so far, and remember to subscribe for more daily gaming videos.